Today we would like to introduce you to a creature that can be seen anywhere and anytime, ants. Ants are insects. Ants belong to the family Hymenoptera, insect family Arthropoda. There are 12,516 known species of ants in the world. There are 21 subfamilies and 283 genera. More than 1,000 species of ants have been identified in China. Ants are the most successful insects on the planet. It is known as the little thing that controls the world. Ants probably originated 120 million years ago. It once lived in the same world as dinosaurs. But while dinosaurs have died out, ants are still alive and well. Scientists estimate that the weight of the world's ants combined is about the same as the weight of the world's population combined. Some scientists even think that the weight of ants could be 5 times the weight of the entire population. How can ants be so successful? One important reason is the division of labor. Ant colonies are generally divided into worker ants, queen ants, male ants, and soldier ants. The soldier ants are the ones who are responsible for fighting. Ants are a typical social animal group. They always cooperate with each other individually. For example, they take care of the young generation together. Interestingly, the younger generation will turn around and take care of the older generation for a period of time. There is a clear division of labor and cooperation between them when building nests, foraging, and defending against enemies. Ant colonies are different from most other group animals. They do not have a leader. All the division of labor and cooperation is done in harmony with each other. This complex and elegant organization and behavior of animal groups often amaze biologists and sociologists. During the long road of evolution, ants have acquired an extraordinary ability to survive. Thus, they are able to cope with the challenges of nature with ease. Ants are masterful architects. They know how to build large nests underground. They have good drainage, ventilation, food storage, and family distribution structures. This skill of ants far surpasses that of many other species of insects and even bees. Each room in an ant's nest is different. The structure of the ant's nest is designed to allow for ventilation and light. It also ensures proper heat storage and dissipation. The ant's nest can reach a maximum depth of 32 meters underground. This is equivalent to building a building 5,000 meters high. The size of an ant nest is also amazing. It is estimated that 40 tons of soil would have to be excavated to build a large nest. In addition to building nests above or below ground, ants also build nests in trees. Some of the ants' larvae will spit silk. The ants will run back and forth between the leaves with these larvae. At this time, the larvae will spit out silk and bond the leaves together. Sometimes ants feel that the silk-bonded nest is not strong enough. They will pick some plant seeds and bring them back. And then bring back some soil for the seeds to sprout in their nests. The roots of the sprouted seedlings are like reinforcement bars for building a house. They make the nest very strong. Ants are good at making the best use of food resources. Ants are omnivores. It is a major predator of terrestrial invertebrates. Whether it is an earthworm or an insect. Whether they have sharp teeth or giant cheeks and needles. As long as ants can catch up with them, they will come out of their nests. Without hesitation, they will attack and kill and dismember them. Carry them back to the nest as food for the larvae. There is also a type of marching ant that hunts for thousands of hours. Even birds and animals are intimidated by the sheer size of the colony. Ants are also the cleaners of the ecosystem. They pick up everything they can eat. Food scraps, insect carcasses, etc. When a bison is killed and devoured by a predator, ants underground are already moving quietly. The grease and flesh scraps that the larger animals don't see. Meat scraps are still a feast for them. Only when the ants have dispersed do the bison carcasses become nothing more than white bones. Plants are also an important food source for ants. The stems, leaves, flowers and nectaries of plants are all food for them. Leaf cutters cut leaves from trees and other plants. The leaves are used to grow fungi, and they feed their larvae with the fungus that grows. Adults mainly feed on the sap of their chopped leaves. In order to get enough food, ants establish a symbiotic relationship with many plants and animals. Ants feed on aphids to obtain food, just as humans feed on cows. Aphids obtain nutrients by sucking the sap from the tough skin of plants. Because the sap in the tough skin of plants is very low in nutrients, the aphids have to feed in large quantities to satisfy their own body needs. What do ants eat? They eat the nectar-filled droppings of aphids. Ants are very responsible for the aphids. When ants find out that the aphids they keep are sick, the ants will move the aphid to another place. It is similar to isolation treatment for human patients, to prevent it from infecting other aphids. Ants act as bodyguards for a variety of plants. The plants provide the ants with food and even shelter. Ants help plants defend themselves against herbivores. When an ant is running through the trees, it can even feel the difference between the vibrations caused by the wind blowing on the plant and the vibrations caused by the herbivores eating the plant leaves. Only when the herbivore eats the plant and causes vibrations, ants will come out of the nest to attack. If the wind is blowing, ants will stay inside the house and not move. This causes strong protective effect on plants. Ants not only protect plants directly, they can also help the plant to eliminate its competitors. In the Amazon region, for example, there is a structure called a devil's garden. It is a large space where there is only one plant. The natives don't know what's going on there. The biodiversity of their area is very high. Why is there only one plant living in such a big place? They thought it was caused by the devil. So they called this phenomenon Devil's Garden. Now, scientists know that this is not caused by the devil. It's caused by ants, because there's an ant living on this plant. Whenever other plants live in the garden, the ants would climb up the plants. Then they inject a toxin into the leaves of these plants. Within a day or two, but not more than a week at most, all these leaves will die. So no other plants can survive in this area. Slowly, a devil's garden is formed. Ants are very clever and seem to be able to do everything, but in nature, ants also have sad moments. There is a fly that lays its eggs underneath the nectaries outside the flower. This egg hatches and the larvae grows two very long larvae. When ants come to feed on the nectaries outside the flower, the teeth of the fly larvae will hook the ants in a deadly way. The ants are unable to move and they suck the ants dry and eat them. There is a parasitic mite that has a whole life cycle. One stage of the life cycle of this mite must be completed in the body of a bird. How does it get into the bird's body? That is to ask the ants to help. There is an ant that likes to eat bird droppings, and after eating bird droppings, the parasite is then embedded in the ant's body. At this time, the ant's abdomen will turn red. When the ant is swaying in the tree, birds will think it is a fruit. Because its color is very similar to the fruit, they will eat it without hesitation. After eating it, the parasite enters the bird's body. This parasite is also one of the top 10 new species found in the world in 2008. The larvae of the great blue butterfly must spend time in the nest of ants. It smells almost identical to that of an ant larvae. When the ants are out on patrol, once the larvae are found on the plants, they mistake it for their own larvae. They will take them to their nests. They will be treated with good food and drink. When the larvae have matured in the nest, they will fly away. The ants have been working for half a day to help others raise their babies. It doesn't know anything about it. It was cheated by its parents. There is also a spore, a fungus, which infects ants. It causes a stick-like thing to grow on the ants' heads. On top of the stick is the spore body, and after the ants are infected with it, they become confused. The ants will become disoriented and will wander all over the plant. Once it enters the most suitable environment for the spores to germinate, the spore program will be activated. The ant's claws will hold onto the leaf. Once it has grabbed the leaf, the ant will die there, and the location where it is fixed to die. is the most suitable environment for the spores to grow. This shows that the evolutionary path of ants is also a dangerous one. In the natural world, there is a struggle for survival. Ants are brilliant at responding to environmental changes with their own actions. In the ecosystem, ants establish reciprocal relationships with various species of animals and plants to promote mutual evolution. According to scientists, there are 52 families and 465 species of plants in the world. Have a close symbiotic relationship with ants. At the same time, aphids, gray butterflies, beetles, worms and many other animals have various purposes to contact with ants. The drama surrounding survival and evolution is constantly being played out. These plays also have a profound impact on human survival and development.